How are y'all, and welcome back to another episode of KCG Plays. My name is Kevin, and today it's an exciting enough day because there's been a new update to Look Be a Landlord. I've opened it up, but I haven't actually looked at it yet, so let's jump into it and see what kind of changes have been made. Let's get it into it. Okay, so content patch 8, new soundtrack, new content, so new soundtrack, okay, that's pretty cool I guess. New content, modified 1 existing symbol and modified 6 existing items. So there's no new symbols or items, which is a bit of a disappointment. I was kind of hoping for like a big balance change. New features, new songs, there's a bunch of translations, option for switching between the new soundtrack and the old soundtrack or both soundtracks, some new hotkeys. Made the music change every 4 rent payments. Okay, so just some music, bit of news. Just thanking the music team. What's this? Doesn't feature any new symbols or items. Please know that I've been hard at work doing quite a bit of designing for content patch number 9. Okay, so it sounds from this that content patch number 9 is actually going to be the really big one and not this one. So let's get into game balance. Fifth ace is now common instead of uncommon. Birdhouse is now common instead of uncommon. Black cat now gives 6 kinds instead of 3 kinds whenever you get a multiple of 13 after spinning. Just making all of these slightly better. I think making these common instead of uncommon is a buff. It makes you more likely to get them. Chicken coop now makes eggs, chickens and golden eggs give 2 additional kinds instead of 1. So that'll make chickens worth 4. So that actually makes them really good. Before they were still kind of like a maybe pick even with chicken coop. Rain cloud is now common instead of uncommon, just making it a bit more likely. Watering can now has the additional effect of seeds give 5 kinds more. Okay, that's pretty cool. It makes watering can pretty decent if you have seeds, but still not a fantastic item. Anchor's description rewritten to specify gives a total of 5 kinds. This doesn't change it gameplay wise. Okay, so just making it a bit more clear. Bees now give a 2 times multiplier to adjacent beehives and honey in addition to flowers. That's pretty interesting. That means beehives, honey and bees might be better than beehives, honey and bears, which is interesting. And then a bit of notes. So 5th ace, birdhouse and rain cloud were changed to common from uncommon due to their power level being lower than that of the average uncommon. So I just felt that due to the power they make more sense as a common relic. Changes to black cat were made to make the items hard to achieve effect have slightly more upside, just to make it slightly better. Chicken coop was buffed a bit because he felt it wasn't good enough as a rare item. Okay, watering can was given this additional effect to effectively make seeds give a 1-time coin bonus, so just to make it more likely to pick seeds. And B was almost never a beneficial symbol except for the very early stages of the game, so having it buff more symbols will hopefully make the symbol more useful in the early to mid game. Okay, that's fair enough. I mean, I never really picked B if I had a choice. Even if I was going for a flower build, I probably wouldn't pick B, so it makes B slightly better. So a few slight buffs, but it looks like this patch is mostly just based on kind of music, which is fair enough. Probably a lot of work on the back end. And then most of the big changes would be in content patch number 9. Okay, so no real big changes, which isn't too bad. I don't think there's any need to do a floor 1 run because nothing's really been changed. So we'll just jump right back into a floor 9 run. And I guess due to the content patch not really changing much, we can just keep our kind of win-loss stats from the last content patch. For anyone that's following along, we're currently on 11 wins and 8 losses. And on a win streak of 4, so we're doing pretty well. So we'll just keep that true to the content patch number 9, which is in 20 days I think, so another 3 weeks, and it sounds like content patch number 9 will have the big changes, so looking forward to that. And let's just jump into it. Maybe we can use one of these new items that have just become common. Chicken coop, I think if you got chicken coop and the chicken, that will probably win you the game. Let's take a bubble. I think is probably the best choice of those. And here we could take, so this gives 2, so 8, it gives 5 every 4 spins. This also gives 5 every 4 spins. Let's take a toddler. And there goes our bubble. Okay, coal is great. We'll have no problem making rent, and coal will give us some late game scaling. Out of these, I don't particularly want any of these, but I guess I could take an ore. Might get a geologist, we might get a miner. There's a few decent synergies, but we made the 25 rent payment with 10 left over. 50 now due in 5 spins. Let's take a pinata for the toddler, and let's take blue pepper would give us 3 per turn for at least a while. Fish tank probably end up being worth more. We need at least, probably need 3 fish in it. Okay, it gives 4 more when in a corner. What did Anchor used to say? Because I always felt it was pretty clear that if it rolled into a corner it'd give you 5, but I can't actually remember what it said. We could try for spades. Let's take an anchor. I think it's still the best option of the deck. We could go for a cultist. I think it still has the best scaling. So if we can make a cultist build work, we only need 3 of them basically for them to become really good. Let's take a void stone. And we made the 50 rent payment with 44 left over. Here we could take a wealthy capsule, I think is the best of those. And jack-o'-lantern is pretty good with the toddler. I'll make the toddler worth 2. Did we take a goldfish bowl? We did, so let's take a goldfish. Just 1 per turn is pretty decent. And here we did pick up a key, so let's take a lockbox. Out of these, I don't particularly want any of these, but we do have still a lot of empty symbols. Let's take a dog. We might pick up quickly the wolf. Should make it pretty decent. Let's take a bubble. In the meantime, we can pet the dog. Actually, let's go into options. Where's our audio? How do we do soundtrack? Let's put on the, will we put on the new soundtrack? Fair enough. Let's put on the new soundtrack for this run, and then next run I'll probably switch it to both. So just to check out what the new soundtrack is like. Let me know in the comments which one you prefer, or if you have any preferences. I think it's fairly interesting. It's a bit different. It kind of has the same kind of vibe, but it is a little bit different. And we made the 100 rent payment with 72 left over. 150 now due in 6 spins. We could go hexatedium and try for a cultist build, or we could go rabbit. I don't have anything. Let's try hexatedium, and let's try, well, lucky cat. Quigley the wolf I think is great with the dog. It'll be a nice backup if we don't see any cultists. Another bubble is pretty decent. Okay, out of these, I don't particularly want any of these. Let's reroll, and we got a cultist. That's fantastic. We'll now start giving 1 each. Did I pick up the mouse that time? I did not. So I could choose a second toddler, or I could choose a wealthy capsule. Let's go with the second toddler. Gives 2, and it makes things like bubbles, sweets, or candy. Okay, I'm gonna take a goldfish here, because so candy would give me 12, but goldfish after 12 turns will be better. Just give me a 1 per turn, and we will make the next rent payment, so I don't particularly need to worry about a quick payoff. Let's take an item capsule. Okay, and we got a wanted poster, so it would maybe be worth picking up a thief and then a banana peel to break it. That would make the thief worth 11 per spin, which is fantastic. I think the best symbol in the game. Well, I guess you need this kind of a synergy because you do need a banana peel. But we did make the 150 rent payment with 53 left over. 225 now due in 7 spins. Let's pick up a void fruit, and let's pick up conveyor belt. Is there anything we'd take that would help? Let's take mining pick instead. Okay, we have our diamond, so we're getting about 37 per turn. Say 30 per turn, 180. Yeah, we'll definitely make the next rent payment. Let's take a candy for the toddlers. And I don't want a banana, and I don't want a cheese. I could take a sapphire, but we only have 2 empty spaces, so let's skip. Okay, another cultist is great. That makes each cultist now worth 3, so that's fantastic. 50 per turn is brilliant. Let's take a present for the toddlers. Okay, we're doing great at the moment. I don't want a banana peel before I have a thief, so let's skip. And here I could take a bronze arrow. I think with the amount of toddlers we're expected, with the amount of cultists we're hopefully going to get, bronze arrow should end up paying off. We made the 225 rent payment with 97 left over, 300 now due in 7 spins. So we need to get about 30 per spin, which shouldn't be a problem. Let's take a reroll, and 5-sided dice is pretty good, just worth 3 on average. Tax evasion would be good if we end up picking up a thief. But other than that, it's not great. Pool ball is just 1 per turn, so probably the best option, if not a very exciting option. So we're getting 40 per turn. We could pick up a Matryoshka doll. That's a bit of late game scaling, and let's remove the flower. Okay, if we get 40 per turn, we'll do... Yeah, we should definitely make the next rent payment. Let's take a second Matryoshka doll and let's remove the coin. Okay, another cultist is fantastic. So now we have too many symbols. So we're definitely looking at removing something. Do we have anything that we can... We don't actually have anything that will remove itself. Let's skip this. Okay, a chemical 7 is pretty decent, just rolls in, gives us 7. And we're getting 60, we're doing fantastic actually. Okay, 40 on that turn. We made the 300 rent payment with 92 left over, 375 due in 8 spins, so if we can get 40 per turn, we should be able to, we should have no problem making the next rent payment. Let's take a lucky capsule, and we could take kind on a string. No, that's actually useless for us. Let's take, could take birdhouse. We don't really have anything that helps. Let's take birdhouse, I think is probably the best. Although kind on a string would enable us to pick up hexes of Midas. Let's take a void creature just to roll in and die. There goes our lucky capsule. Hopefully we'll get some kind of ether that we can... I don't want to mine, which is a bit unfortunate. Let's skip this. Okay, again, we don't want any of these. We have 5 turns to get 150. Okay, yeah, we should have no problem making the next rent payment. And at this stage, we actually just want more cultists and a removal capsule. Another lucky capsule could do. We want a geologist would be great. That would remove a few of our items. A diver would be pretty good as always. A farmer, unfortunately, not something we're looking for. Although it would help with chicken. Chickens would give 3, but that's not a synergy we're going for. Okay, we're getting 50 per turn, so we're not doing too bad. And we made the 375 rent payment with 82 left over. So we do need to scale a little bit more. 450 due in 8 spins. If we get 50 per turn, we should have no problem making the next rent payment. Let's re-roll and hope for something better. I think Pinata is still pretty decent with the toddler. And here, Pizza the Cat I think is probably the best. We're not likely to pick up black suits, and I don't particularly want to load the seeds. That would just blow our deck. So let's take Pizza the Cat and let's remove probably the cherry. That's the only fruit synergy we have, so let's remove it. And this is great now because now we're at least we're guaranteed all our toddlers will roll in, and we are getting 50 per turn. There's Hexamidas. We could take that if we had have picked up kind on a string. Might have been a better deal. Okay, a big one on that turn. Again, a lockbox. Let's skip. And we could take a reroll capsule. It's pretty decent. Okay. How is our inventory doing? 22. We still have 2 candies. Let's take a present. Shouldn't last long with the amount of toddlers in the deck. 2 toddlers, 63. Let's take another present. Excellent. Both toddlers hit the same present there. That's great. 80 on that spin. We can't complain with that. Let's skip this. And we're doing pretty good. Solid 50 per turn at the moment. Let's skip. Okay, fix 56. We made the 450 rent pin with 117 left over. 575 due in 9 spins. If we get 50 per turn, we actually won't quite make it, so we need slightly more than 50 per turn. Let's see if we can get something better. I think Silver Arrow is fantastic. And does Grave Robber help us? Not particularly. Does Black Pepper help us? No. Time Machine would help us though. It would help these 2 Matryoshka dolls. Let's take Time Machine. Turning these into 4 per spins. Okay, if we get 60 per spin, we'll have no problem whatsoever making the next rent payment. Oh, yep, no problem whatsoever. Okay, so here's a pear. I don't think this is the run for pear. Pear is pretty good. And we were actually offered a farmer earlier, but no. We'd already decided on our run for this. Wolf is worth 3, but at this stage, probably still worth it. Okay, I don't want any of these. I don't think milk is worth it. If we had black cat, which makes cats give twice as much money, maybe, but we don't, so 60 per turn. I think a bubble probably is worth it though. Okay, we're getting almost 70. We're almost at this stage where I'd feel really comfortable. But we just need like one more thing. One more cultist would make this run very comfortable. Even a few removals. Actually, the bubble rolled in 3 times without hitting a toddler. I wonder what the chances of that are. 575, we got that with 105 left over. 650 now due in 9 spins. So we need about 60 per spin would be 540. 60 per spin should do it. Chicken would be worth 3, but I don't particularly want it. Let's take an item capsule. And let's take booster pack. I think could be really good. I don't want anything from the adoption papers. Let's use booster pack, and we could take a coal, which is really good. A present is pretty good with the toddlers. Another present, another cultist is fantastic. Let's go a lucky capsule. Let's go with a hustling capsule. Probably because we do have 9 spins, so we'll make it sell. Void Fruit is probably worth it, and Frozen Fossil is interesting. I think we're probably better off sticking with the cultist rather than taking Frozen Fossil. Let's re-roll though and see if we can get a better rare. We didn't. I don't think it's worth taking Ruby. Okay, let's remove, what's our worst symbol? It's probably this pearl or this ore. I think there's nothing worse than that in the deck. No, so let's take out this pearl. Shedding season. That'll be unfortunate if we end up picking up a rabbit. I don't want any of these. Let's skip. Magic key was a maybe, but we're unlikely to get anything better than lockbox, and I think just taking up space is not a good idea. Okay, we're not doing too bad. Our cultists, 5 cultists now should definitely secure this run. Another goldfish for the bowl is pretty decent. Okay, our toddlers are slowly eating up at our presents. 650 due in 5 spins. We only need like 300, so 60 per spin. Shouldn't be a problem. Big hit there on our anchor. We did get 60. We could take another candy. How many items do we have that will remove itself? None. So we're on 23 items. That's a bit much. A bit more than I'd prefer. 72. We are still doing pretty good though. I think it is still worth taking these candies and presents. Okay, even on that spin, which nothing special happened, we still got 60. That one was only a 46, so not fantastic. Actually, we're a bit short, actually. But with those 2 toddlers eating the candy, yeah, we'll have no problem. But we did make the 650, only 46 left over. 700 now due in 10 spins. Let's skip this and let's take checkered flag. None of these are worth anything for us. So let's take, I guess, checkered flag. A Robin Hood would probably be worth it. Okay, how are we doing here? So we have 9 spins to get 600. We need about 70 per spin, which is not unlikely. 68, we're almost making it. Let's take an item capsule. Okay, Lucky Cat is not actually what we want. Making 70 per spin. Another cultist though is exactly what we want. 75 on that spin. We could take a tedium capsule. Gives 5. Okay, good hit there. 69 on that spin. Let's skip this. 5 spins and we need to get 420. No, 320. I was like, that's 80 per spin. That can't be right. Another cultist. That's fantastic. 75 per spin. We could do another hexatedium, but I don't think we need to. At this stage, we need to cut down the deck. We have another diamond, though. That will definitely help. 90 on that spin. We don't need a void stone, and we don't need a dog. Okay. 90 on that spin. That's fantastic. It looks like we have hit the tipping point. We seem to be consistently getting over 70 per spin, and we made the 700 rent pound with 116 left over. 777 now due in 10 spins. I still don't want a frozen fossil. Let's re-roll, and we could take a general Zarf. I don't think it's a good idea. I definitely don't. We could take another silver arrow though, and swapping device. Swapping device could be good because it means we could take something like a candy and make sure our toddlers eat it straight away. So let's take swapping device, and let's remove. Is anchor now our worst? No, ore is now our worst symbol. How's our inventory? 25 symbols. Still a bit big. Does anything here actually benefit? I don't think anything we have actually benefits from. The only thing would be moving an arrow to the center. That's the only benefit we'll have. Let's take another goldfish. Let's move the arrow to the center. And we're still getting 90 per spin. Another cultist is fantastic. Again, let's just put this in the center so we're kind of guaranteed to hit something decent. We don't want a slot. We could take a present though. Present didn't roll in. Let's put the arrow here. Oh, that's fantastic. This cultist should be worth loads. 72 just from one cultist. That's brilliant. Can't complain. Did our present roll in? No, it didn't. Let's put you here. Okay, we'll skip all of these. Here's our present. We only have one toddler, so let's put the present here. Kind of hoping they get hit by an arrow, but no such luck. Well, I suppose the present got hit by an arrow. Let's take a goldfish. 2 symbols to swap. We'll just put you here. And we've already made rent, so we don't really need to worry about switching these items around. Let's take a present. We can put the present right in the center of the 2 toddlers, and they got hit by a silver arrow. So this toddler should be worth 42. Not too bad at all. Don't need another hexatedium. Let's just put you here. Alright guys, pretty solid run. We made the last rent pound with 585 left over, and this time your landlord was hexed by witches. Yeah, pretty solid run. We went in for cultists early, and then once we got 3 of them, once you get 3 cultists, they're worth 3, so even if you don't get any more, they're still pretty decent. But once you get 4, it's just fantastic. At that stage, our biggest concern was actually like getting the deck low enough that they could all show up every turn, and that's, I think by the end of this, like at the second stage of the game, that's always the hardest bit, is removing symbols. We didn't do too bad. Like most of the symbols we have left over are pretty decent, and yeah, a pretty good run. This booster pack probably did help us. We added a lot after the booster pack. Toddlers actually did a fair amount for us, so kind of happy with how Toddlers went. I hope you guys enjoyed the run. If you did, give us a like and comment. Let me know what you thought of the run, and subscribe to see more videos every day. Until next time guys, take care of yourselves and cheers for now.